and you can get caught up in the comments alone. Yeah, I mean, my advice to anyone, if you don't have to go on Twitter, just stay off of Twitter.
It is good for breaking news, though. Speaking of breaking news, from Twitter in Toronto, Ontario case count today, 118 new cases.
118 new cases.
Well, I think that's a pitch up over yesterday, but still well within that under 200 number that Dr. David Williams likes, so that's encouraging.
We have been up here in Ottawa, I mean, since phase 3, since we went into phase 3, our numbers have been higher than anywhere else in the province. I know Essex down in southern Ontario had their issues, but looking at Toronto and the size of that city, our numbers are ahead. But again, it depends on how many people are getting tested too when we get those numbers. A lot of young people are contracting the virus in cities, and so you wonder just if they have some symptoms, if they're even bothering to go get tested.
Yeah, I mean, when I hear about, I think I said as much on the air yesterday, when I hear about 6-7 hour wait times to get tested at Brewer Arena, I mean, if I had COVID symptoms, I'm not sure if it's COVID, but if I had mild symptoms, I would, alert our boss, and I would stay home for 2 weeks till I felt better, but I'm not sure I would bother going to get tested.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the kids too now. I mean, with this the new back-to-school plan that has been released, teachers and principals will be asked to isolate kids if they do have a cough or a runny nose at school, and then parent will come and pick them up. But it's recommended that students with symptoms get COVID tests, but it's not required. This information a lot of people have been waiting for to get their hands on it to figure out what to do. I don't think it really answers too many questions though, because you're still going to deal with that situation on the day when it happens, and a lot of unknowns remain with that. Another story that came out today in the National Post, you brought this to my attention. Up to a quarter of the payments that went to Canadians during the pandemic could have gone to people and families with six-figure incomes. This is the Fraser Institute, David?
The Fraser Institute, they're out of Vancouver, yeah.
So they estimate as much as $22.3 billion may have gone to people who didn't need it. So there's the study targeting the increase to the Canada Child Benefit, where they found more than $500 million went to families making more than $100,000.
That's right. Yeah, this is a continuation of work they were doing last month. We had the head researcher on when they were first at the outset. All they had done was looked at the criteria and crunch the numbers and come up with a number of how many Canadians are eligible for CERB. And what they've done now is broken down where they think this $22.5 odd billion has gone, and they're it's a worst case scenario kind of analysis, but it is true that as much as $22.5 billion could have gone to people under the age of 25 who are still living at home with their parents with a median household income of $100,000 or more.
Okay, so for example, doctor and lawyer, parents, they have a kid who's maybe 17, 18, no summer job, but that kid could qualify.
Yeah.
For CERB.
Yeah, and they can apply for it themselves, and the money gets direct deposited into the bank account. I'm sure that there's some parents out there whose teenage or young adult children are taking CERB while living at home, and they have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, another quote from them just saying now, I don't know the rationale to send money to seniors who have household incomes of up to $260,000. The question too is the fraud. And we've had these stories on the air since the CERB was rolled out, just because you didn't need a record of employment, and it was very easy to sign up for CERB. And we've had stories. There's fraud where people have opened up a number of different bank accounts, traveled to different cities to actually get money. I think one woman was arrested in Toronto. She was from Montreal. She did it 3 times. But there are people who have jobs, who are at home working from home, who just signed up for CERB, got their $2,000 a month. And the government was on it, they said, very early, the CRA, to crack down on this. This is taxable money, so you'll face that at the end of next year. But the other big thing is just how many people are going to get nailed for this.
But it's free money. It is free. Give people free money.
Your money.
Take it. I read a great story on the West Coast of a woman who had her bank account was hacked into, and they stole her bank account number and then used her bank account number to apply for CERB with fake identities. So her bank account had about $8,000 of fraudulent CERB payments in it, set up under fake identities, and she couldn't get into her bank account to repay them. So now she's on the hook with CRA, who are giving her the runaround on whether or not she's actually going to have to pay back this money. So extending it as long as we have is prolonging the opportunities for fraud.
Okay. There are, listen, there definitely are people who don't need CERB. But on the other hand, there are people who have used it and who have gone through the channels the right way, who really needed it to get them through this pandemic because they couldn't go to work.
Oh, yeah. And I know people my age who are recent university grads who got laid off who are on CERB. They don't want to be, but it's a vital lifeline just to keep food on your shelves. But it is disappointing and very concerning when we see reports that $22.5 billion may have just been burned through a poorly administered federal program.
Yeah, we'll put that question as well to Pierre Poilievre, Conservative MP for Carleton. He's also opposition finance critic. He'll be joining us coming up at 11:30 today. We'll talk to Pierre. The federal Conservatives are urging the speaking agency that We Charity use to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to Justin Trudeau's family members to hand over the documents about the arrangements. So MP Michael Barrett notes the House of Commons Ethics Committee had asked the agency to produce the documents last month, and the agency subsequently asked for an extension before the Prime Minister prorogued Parliament until September 23rd, ending 4 committee investigations into the We affair. We'll talk about the We Charity. This latest information as well. The published report says the independent law clerk on Parliament Hill is questioning the redaction of thousands of government documents related to the charity. So we'll put that to Pierre Poilievre as well. We'll talk about this latest story from the Fraser Institute coming up at 11:30 today. 613-750-1310, 750-1310. It's the Talkback Hour, open hour for calls. Josie in Stittsville joins us now. Good morning. You're on the Rob Snow Show. Hello, Josie. Are you there?
Hi.
We have you. You're on now.
I was going to make a quick comment about, all this free money we're giving everybody.
Yeah.
I know when they first mentioned the $300 for seniors, and I, being a senior, qualified, and I told my husband, it's unfortunate it's such a global thing because we as a family don't really need it. And I was going to look at how can I give back. And then I started thinking, okay, we're giving away billions. And guess who's paying for all that? My husband, who's had to extend, he can't retire yet, and it's going to be all in his taxes in our next 20 years of taxes that we're going to be paying for the billions that are being given to everybody. I'm keeping my damn $300.
Yeah, I know. You're not the only one, I don't think.
On another note, I was just talking to Dave there. I said, you know what? We talk about COVID, we're talking about school, we talk about everything. No one in the last little while has mentioned anything about, your deadline to get your taxes paid is September 1st, which is next Tuesday.
Oh, that's right, yes. There's still a lot of people out there.
Well, that haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And I had to look into it because I said, I was doing my dad's. I said, I don't want him getting nailed. I better look into it. And I said, yeah, it was still June 1st for filing and September 1st if you owe money. So anybody out there that still has to pay money, you better get it in by September 1st, which is next Tuesday.
Well, that's a good point. The government wants your cash.
Yes, especially since they're doling out billions.
That's right. Thanks, Josie. Appreciate your call today.
Alrighty, take care.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be there to collect it. Don't worry. Yes. They'll collect your money. Even if you follow the rules, you do the right things, you work 40 hours, 50, 60 hours a week, as hard as you can. You bring home half your paycheck. You do all the right things. They're always there. Take your money. Right? Or to take your money so that they can give it out, billions of it, to people who don't need it. That's what this Fraser Institute study is all about. Oh, now I know why Rob is the way he is sometimes.
Spends a fortune on blood pressure medication, that guy. Should we go to break?
You know what? I think I might take a vacation next week when he comes back. Let's take a break. We'll be back at the Rob Snow Show. I'm Mark Day in for Rob.
It's time for your Frequency Podcast Flash. Every day, we bring you a little bit of the Big Story Podcast to spark your interest. You never know what topics we're going to cover, but we can always guarantee a good conversation. Here's a sample of what you'll hear.
Hey, it's been a busy year. And so naturally, some things just slip through the cracks a bit. Little things, like aliens, stuff like that. Wait, aliens, right? I remember that. Aliens.
The Pentagon declassifying 3 videos of what they're calling unexplained aerial phenomena.
It's roasted.
2 videos showing objects spotted by Navy fighter pilots during training flights in 2015. And this one from 2004 showing an object about 40 feet long hovering about 50 feet above the water. Weird, right?
I'm Jordan Heath Rawlings, and this is another big story getting lost in the middle of this insane year. Marie Danielle Smith is a reporter with Maclean's, based in Ottawa. Hi, Marie Danielle.
Hey, Jordan.
How's it going?
It's going okay. It's been quite a year.
And, just to add to this year, now you're talking about aliens? Really?
I mean, so this obviously has nothing to do with the slow unraveling of my mind during the pandemic.
No, not at all.
But I've been thinking about it because, it's been such a crazy year. We've had a global pandemic. We've had an economic crisis. There's also been all kinds of weird earthly events, like we've got the wildfires in Australia, locust swarms in East Africa. We had an asteroid miss us very closely in June without anyone noticing. So it kind of strikes me as...
To hear the rest of the Big Story Podcast, check out thebigstorypodcast.ca or follow them on Twitter at TheBigStoryFPN. You're listening to a repeat broadcast on Thursday 10 noon. Talk back on the Rob Snow Show. The phone lines are open at 613-750-1310.
All right, 1027. Up to a quarter of the payments that went to Canadians during this pandemic could have gone to people and families with 6-figure incomes. That's according to a new study from the Fraser Institute. The study estimating that as much as $22.3 billion may have gone to people who didn't need it.